Well, good morning, y'all. Saturday morning, November 25th, not too long after Thanksgiving. Couple of days. Some people still probably eating turkey, leftover turkey. Mm, yes. That's a new theme song I'm going to be opening up with. It's called Paradox. And Paradox is something that people need to look up sometimes. I'm in the chat. Hey, I don't care about being alone, but these are just my thoughts and what I feel about today and the things that have been going on. So if you come up, red ball, or if you're listening and not saying hello in the chat, that's fine too. I understand. Or if you just want to hear my thoughts for the day about things in life, we're going to talk about it, especially when it comes to YouTube, Facebook, and all these other apparatuses that we use out here. Okay, let's get started, y'all. Let's get started. Good morning again. Good morning to all those that are here that will be listening or have something to say later on, because I probably will drop the link so you can come up and give your thoughts on it. Let's talk about being insecure. Uh, we're all insecure to a certain degree and to a certain extent. But then again, when people try to manipulate you or use you and make you feel insecure about shit in life, that's when we usually come out here on these streets, or even uh, even in our family lives. We try to show them that, hey, I'm not what you say I am. You know, insecure meaning there's different definitions for it. There's you're unconfident, lacking confidence, lacking self confidence, and not of self confidence. So when we look at that definition, and I'm just wondering, are we all insecure in our minds at times, once in a while in time? Yes, we are. Uh, do we lash out at people when we feel insecure about things? Well, hell yeah, you do. You do. Everybody does it. But there comes a time and place when a person that calls a person insecure, they have to realize that they're the ones that are insecure about things, especially when someone might come up and say, well, hey, look, this looks this way, or this looks that way. Your insecurities about the things that you do wrong and the things that you say wrong makes them lash back and makes you want to feel that, you know, I don't need your advice. Well, if you don't need my advice, don't ask it. If you don't want me to say anything to you, don't talk about it. So this is my just going into YouTube. I've been off for a couple of days, but I came on and did some other things, and I had one person come up there and talk about me on YouTube. Then I had another person come up and left me a at on YouTube. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you so fucking insecure that you always got to bring me up? Why are you so insecure that you got to say things about me? Now, I try to get along with people here on these platforms, on this apparatus in this world out here, because it's a wide open world. There are things going on around the world, not just only here in the United States, but in other countries, other cities, and other towns. Do I feel insecure about that? Yes, because it's going to affect me in the long run with the economy and stuff. Do I feel insecure about, am I going to wake up in the morning and the government's going to say, hey, there's no more such thing as Social Security. There's no much things as we're not going to take care of you and all that. Yes, we're all insecure about that bull crap. Are we insecure about maybe even YouTube might say, hey, look, we're dropping the monetization. There will be no more monetization. You can use our platform and stuff, but we're not going to pay you for it. Do people feel insecure about that? Well, hell yes, they do. And they cry and they bitch and they complain and they moan and they groan. But one thing I want to say, I'm not fucking insecure about myself to where every time I got an answer to somebody that puts my name in a title or somebody that drops me in a link on their title or puts my picture up in their title. Because as a grown man of an older age, yes, and I'm older, and just like a lot of older people on here, you think that older people have cynical minds or they don't think right or they don't listen to things that other people say. Oh, I listen. I'm well educated. I have not been the best of a person all my life, but I do know as I gotten older that you have to treat some people a certain way and talk to them in a certain language that they might understand. Now, am I insecure about anything that affects my life? You damn right I am. I'm insecure when you try to use me as a stepping stone or you use me just to use me because you think you can use me. And this is my message to all those out there that try to sit up there and want to make fun, as we say, of people and make people feel insecure about themselves. Let me open up by saying, SK, I haven't been up on your platform or written in your platform for a few minutes, except maybe during the Thanksgiving holidays to write you and say happy Thanksgiving or something like that. And if I didn't, well, happy belated Thanksgiving to you. But I also noticed that you yourself came up and made some remarks once again about me and everything else. Now, am I insecure about that? No, I'm not insecure about it. But you're the one that seems to be insecure because you have to have my name in a title. I didn't put your name in this title because I'm not insecure about talking about your ass. I'm not insecure about the way that you talk about other people either, because that's you. But for me, my insecurities are trying to be sneaky, trying to use me as a stepping stone, trying to use me as somebody that you can get up here and ridicule and make fun of when you really don't really personally know me. And just like I don't personally know you. But I am sick and tired of you and you're crying about your platform. People talk about your platform. Everybody speaks about how it's going down and how things are on it. So for you to sit up here and throw my name in the title and then try to bring up my personal business again, once again, that's asinine, sir. To me, that's asinine. Like I said, insecurity is self-affecting. If you're insecure about something, when somebody says something to you, doggone it, you're going to sit up there and you're going to take it in. And especially if they're telling the damn truth, you're going to feel like, I don't know, this person knows me too much or that person. No, it's not that I know things too much. I know more than a lot of people know. I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime that younger people here on YouTube haven't seen or haven't experienced. And the way the life walks around you, it seems like you're insecure about me being a man, about me getting on here, playing my little music on my other channels and doing things like that and getting an audience, that you have to bring me up every once in a while. Now, I know for a fact that Yeah, I used to come up there with you and we used to shoot the bullshit and all that. But you seem to get insecure when I got popular here on YouTube. You seem to get insecure when people started gravitating toward me. Not only you got insecure, there's other few other content creators that got insecure about it, but I had mostly more content creators that came up and were secure about it. They mentioned me in the chat. They shared my videos, even though, yes, a lot of it's copyrighted material. YouTube was shutting me down. It was coming back up. But people shared it because they liked what they heard. They like what they see. And for you to constantly try to berate people, that to me, that's a bunch of asinine bullshit. I'll just say it like that. When it comes to relationships, you tried to get in on that bullshit, like a couple other people tried to get in on it. But, yeah, maybe I made a mistake. What they say, what you bring up here on YouTube, we can talk about it. Yeah, you can talk about it to a degree, but you're not going to talk about it to where you're trying to shame people or make people seem like they're being used or make people seem like they're being made a fool out of. My life is my life. And if people don't like what I do or say on here, well, fuck it. That's what I'm going to say. Fuck it. Because in my thoughts, in my mind, if I'm not truthful with the person that I care about, I'm with, or anything else, then there's no sense in being with them. Do I have insecurities about that? Yeah, sure. Everybody has insecurities about a loved one. But I'm not going to let you or anybody else ruin that bullshit, ruin me with that bullshit. Uh, do I get into it with content creators on here at times? There's a couple I've gotten into it with throughout the years, even this month. But they were insecure because they are always bringing me up in bullshit. And then try to throw a monkey wrench into it, they throw in people that they know I associate with or talk to or get up in a chat and say hello to. Then they want to say something about it. Well, if you're that damn insecure about me talking to other people, why even say anything to me? Why try to bring me down? You know, that's just like you got men out here. They jump on YouTube and they talk about these women up under their skirt tails and all that bullshit. And then when a man comes up to say something about it or defend them, you've got women that go along with these men and will sit up there and agree with what they're saying about other women. Uh, you know, I and then if a man, especially if a man has a woman and he's trying to defend other women, they're gonna feel insecure about it because they're thinking that, well, hell, maybe he's doing shit his own self, doing shit his own self. Oh, good morning, good good morning, Jason Cloud9. Yes, good morning, love. I know. Yes. See, and that's another thing. Being here on this platform like this, when women come up here and say things to me like that, say good morning, love, I take it as a love of Christ. I don't take it as, hey, they got me, they want me, because I'm already in a relationship, people. I told you that, and a lot of people know about it. And I love this woman. Now, is she insecure about me getting up here and telling other people that I love them so much? I'm going to be honest with you and say I feel insecure about that myself. Because as a man, I know that some women, not all women now, you notice I said the word some women don't appreciate their man being out in a public platform or in the public eye and, as they say, flirting or carrying on, because that causes a lot of confusion too. But then again, I've been an entertainer in my earlier years when I was in nightclubs and playing music and all that. And I was in a relationship with a woman, but it became obsessive. It became jealousy because I was insecure when I was sitting back at the table spinning records and she out on the dance floor shaking her butt with another guy around. Oh, okay, night, you're going to bed. Okay, good night. Oh, yeah, right. You're right about that. I started saying night. I'm sorry. You're right. You know, and then I was insecure about, like I said, her being on the dance floor, dancing with somebody else. And I got to sit back here at these turntables. Well, we had turntables back then when we were doing records and stuff. So that was an insecurity. But another insecurity that she had was when the women came up to the table to ask me to play records or sit up there and wanted to buy me a drink. And then she would come up there and sit down next to me to let everybody know that we were together. You know, now when I look back and think about that, that's some funny shit. That is some funny shit. Men and women are insecure about one another in a relationship. Also, they're insecure about not being told that they're pretty or handsome or they're this and that, because we're in a society where everybody looks to be complimented. There are some people that don't need to be complimented, but there are people that when they do good things, when they do good deeds, you're supposed to let them know. Yes, yes, Clout. Yeah, Mr. DJ. But like I was saying, and I'm gonna try not to read the chat. I'm just trying to keep my thoughts together on this thing about being insecure, because there's a lot of people here that come up here, even on YouTube, that they're insecure about saying things or wanting to say things. And that's been me too in my lifetime. I was never a type of dude that would get out there and braggadocious talk about things that I've gained or won or slept with or even did anything with. I believe in that strict cliche of not kissing and telling. But as time went on and all that stuff, things changed, people changed, the world changed, and the form of communication changed. When we got the telephone in, yeah, we had the party lines. Everybody could get on there and speak to one another, or they would be listening to one another's conversations, which got a lot of people in trouble too. So, and that was the earlier. That was an earlier form of doxing. To me, you when you find out about somebody and you hear stuff and you see stuff and you go back and tell it, that's doxing. They say they call it gossip. But when you gossip, you're doxing because you're telling somebody a secret that you're hoping that your true friend or partner won't let out. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know. Insecurities are has always been a part of our way of life, and people don't want to admit they're insecure about a lot of things. I I admit that I'm insecure about things that affect me financially. Definitely, I'm insecure about that because I don't want to end up broke, destitute, out on the streets like we see a lot of people here in this world today. Um, I don't want to be so insecure to where I can't come up on my platform and speak to a person, say, hey, you're wrong about this. This is my opinion on it, without us getting into a big, big verbal argument and cursing each other out. You know, do I feel insecure about people saying that I have done stuff here and I know I haven't done it, but am I supposed to get up there and talk about it just because other people want me to talk about it? No, because that gives a reason for gossip to or innuendos to keep going and going and going. I've never been the kind of person that would get out there, sit on the street corner, even with the fellows, and gossip about things that go on because I was too busy listening to trying to get myself together with my music, trying to get together when I had a family because I was married then, do things right. But like I said, things change, people change, and eventually we separated and parted. So getting me up to today, at my age that I am now, do I have problems with myself? Yes, I do. But they're not the problems that would make me want to give up and give up hope, especially giving up on love. A lot of people have given up on love too. They're so beaten, they're worn, they're tattered, and when somebody tells them that they love them, they they find it hard to believe. Especially when they're not used to being loved. And I see a lot of this here going on in the world today, even with men. A woman can tell a man she loves him, but does it mean anything to him? No, because he's been through so much in his lifetime until you have to prove it more than I prove it. If I break my neck trying to do something for you, at least show me that you're trying to do something besides having a lot of fun all the time. Same way it goes with men. You have to show them that you love them and you have to do things for them. You know, even the littlest minute thing like getting up in the morning, fixing their breakfast, getting up, helping with the dishes. Good morning, Cheryl Burnett. Yes, this is just a talk. I'm just talking about insecurities of women and men, and we both have them, and there's no sense in denying it. But when it gets to the point to where it's you're divided upon what security is and what it means to be insecure, then that gets to be the problem. Uh, Once again, like I said, folks, insecurities are it's something that people do to one another. You know, they're doubtful in their own ideas, in their own ways about a person. When a person is not, when I'm not insecure, I'm insecure, like I said, about certain things. But when it comes to my music, the things that I do here on YouTube, I'm not insecure about it. Do I enjoy it? Yes, I enjoy it. I love seeing people in a chat having fun, conversating with each other, and joking about things. But when it comes to the doxing and then you dropping names of family members and you talk about people like you do, then it becomes less of a fun thing to me. The cooking challenges. I heard everybody talk about the cooking challenges, and everybody's got their opinion. To me, they were fun. Now, what I didn't do, and I did do some of it, was listen to all the rhetoric after the cooking challenge. I went to platforms that talked about the challenge as being a good thing, and I did listen to some that talked about it in a jealous, downright malicious way. And the people that were in the cooking challenge. Why do they do it? I don't know. But I'm not so insecure that I'm not going to sit up here and say that I don't like shit that people do sometimes here on YouTube. I don't like it. But I'm not going to jump up here every time and just say, well, you this and you that, and then call you a bunch of MFs and all that stuff. But like I said, I watched a couple of segments on YouTube after I took my little Thanksgiving break, and I had a good Thanksgiving. And I hope everybody did too. I was, I didn't go anywhere because it, it got too late. And to be honest with you, I was watching football, and I fell asleep like an old person. Fell asleep. Then I woke up, it was dark, and I know people, they were out. I called them, hey, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not coming. I cooked my own dinner. Like I said in my videos, Mama always said, no matter when you leave home, make sure you cook you something before you leave. And when you get back home, you'll have something to eat. And so I did that. And was I glad I done it? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. I didn't cook any turkey. I did Cornish hens and dressing and had greens and made me some candy sweet potatoes. And hell, I feasted. That's what I did. I feasted. But getting back to the insecurities of life, when you're so insecure until you have to make up lies, make up innuendos, or say things about a person, it's crazy. It's crazy. Or if you have to get that person to say something to you, you're always constantly bringing them up. You're talking about them. There's a lot of people on here that have brought my name up, and I didn't answer to them. There's a couple that I did, a few that I did, because I know, number one, you're telling a lie on me or about me, but you want to know the truth. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not going to let you know every fucking thing. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to let you know how much money I'm spending a week or a month or a day or even a year on anything that I do or anywhere I go. Just be rested assured that I'm secure about what I'm doing with myself. And you're insecure because you can't find out. Another thing, when it comes to men and women in relationships with their insecurities, do I do a lot of things on here that might get my girlfriend or lady insecure about the things that I say or do? Yeah, it could be. You know, and that's another thing. These little emojis that we drop in the chat when we're talking to people and stuff like that, it could be they look at it one way or another. But to me, it's just an emoji. I'm not sending out any cryptic messages. I'm not saying that, hey, baby, I'll meet you here, meet you there later. I just throw them up. And to me, it's just the thumbs up is a thumbs up. Waving is waving. Hearts are hearts. People take a heart differently. They got purple, red, green, blue. There's colors and different things. It's a rainbow of things with the hearts. Then they got the emojis with the kissy poo face, and we know all about that. The kissy poo faces and the I love you and all that. But emoji sometimes does get me in trouble. I'll admit that, people. When I put up an emoji, it gets me in trouble. Even on the community board, you click on something that a person sends to you or says to you, you click that little thing on it, the heart will automatically pop up and it'll show that, it should mean that you got the message. You can give a thumbs up or you can write in the chat. Usually when it's good, I'll write in the chat. Usually when I want to say something to let this person know that, hey, I appreciate you. I write in the chat. But far as all that secretive love stuff and all that bullshit when it comes to emojis. No, that's not me. I just use it. I just use it. Um, yeah, I know people are dropping down because they're listening to other stuff, and that's another thing too. Do I listen to a lot of fucked up shit on here? Yeah, yeah. Let's face it, I do. I listen to a lot of fucked up shit, and I need to talk about things that I listen to that are fucked up. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with women and their insecurities with other women. Ladies, you've been combative too long with one another. And we all know that you do fuck shit out there in the streets. So let's try to be more tolerable of when people make mistakes. I I said I wasn't going to comment on Uppity's situation, and we all know about Uppity's situation. So I'll have to comment on it and say, Uppity, I think you need help, dear. As a man talking to a woman, I think you need help. Now, was it right for what you did? I'm not going to say it was right or wrong, but we all know during that time that you were intoxicated. And that's what breaks my heart right there, because I've seen people that were intoxicated and they took it out on their child because they were mad at the world. And that child ended up hurt or injured. If you drink, don't discipline your child while you're drinking. And don't discipline your child while you're mad or angry at someone. Take a deep breath, because you know she's a special needs child, and special needs child takes a lot of love and patience. And don't be insecure about that either. Good morning, Gerald Bell. Good morning, talent. Good morning, talent. I see you up there. I see you up there talking about don't comment. Oh, well. Good morning, Mr. Gerald Bell. Yes, a couple of guys in here to hear. Hey, talent. Oh, talent. I seen you got roasted, buddy. I want to say I feel so sorry for you. You were trying to do a good deed there, but that person was insecure too about you dropping them $5. Dropping up $5. Oh, it was funny to me because his insecurities was he needed that little cash app $5, but his pride and ego wanted to make him seem like he don't need your money. Well, shit, I'd be happy when people drop me a little cash every once in a while. But anyway, talent. Well, thank you for being here this morning, and yeah, you and I know I'm on a good accord with you. And I seen you out there in Vegas gambling. Did you win any money? That's what I want to know. Did you win any money? Well, okay, getting back to the insecurities about things, I want to say with Uppity, I'm not going to come out as a man and say, you were wrong, you were wrong, you were wrong. No, you had your reasons, and the reason was the alcohol. And we all know what alcohol does to people's minds and thoughts. Uh, yeah, I I really don't feel that it's left up to me because I'm not an authoritative person. I don't have the authorities, and I'm not see. Do I think people should have called on her? I don't know. I don't know. It sounds horrific, and for the welfare of the child and her being the way she is, yes, I think they should have called. But let's not ostracize either and forget we have some mentally ill people here on YouTube, people that are crying out for help, but they do it in the wrong way and they say things in the wrong way. So that's what I'm talking about. Her her doing that on live. And then let me get over to Yusuf. Everybody's commenting on Yusuf too. Yes. You start recording my super chat. Okay. Okay. It fell off. It fell off. But but to me, that morning talent, I listened, that was funny as hell the way he broke down and started ribbing you. But what can we expect? What do I expect? Because like I said, he put my name in the title, and I haven't spoken to him, you know, chat wise or spoken to him any kind of wise in a while, but for him to put my name in the title, and he knows I have people that look at that shit, and then they're going to go up there and see what he's saying about me, and then to try to bring in my past discretions or his ideas of my past discretions is crazy. It's crazy. But I really don't pay attention to him anymore like that. Except when you put my name in your title, and then you come up there and talk about me, then I'm gonna start answering you back. That's what I mean about being insecure. He's insecure about me being a man. He's insecure about me having a reputation on these YouTube streets as a womanizer, which I'm not. I've never been a womanizer. Have I been a player? Uh, it's for the people to judge because players can mean a lot of things in this world. So if people want to say I was a player, I was a player. If people want to say I was really a one woman's man during that era, I was. But I'm not going to try to prove it to you. But I'm not going to let you take shit and then run off with it either. I've had people on here saying I had a 10.5-inch ping and was sending ping pictures and all that bullshit. Why do you do that? Why did they do that? Was it their insecurities about me being a man? Or was it their insecurities about not having a man with a 10-inch ping? You see what I'm saying? So I leave that to. Okay, I'm not going to say. Well, you know what? When you say that talent, you said he's a bum. I'm not going to say he's a bum. No, he's not a bum. He's a lonely person. He's a lonely guy that has, and it's pardon the pun, has talent enough to bring out the worst in people. You see what I'm saying? When the worst is still in him, because there's a lot of things that he's done on these YouTube streets that caused a lot of people to drop away from him, to get away from him with the same old rhetoric and the tired old rhetoric, you know. And I know he's using a lot of people that want to, he wants them back. I'll put it that way. It's a lot of people he wants back, but he still has his core. He still has some of the same people that go up there and listen to him. And if you notice, it's not as vicious as it had, well, as it was in the past. So I'm not going to say he's a bum. I'm just going to say right now that that old song, he's Mr. Lonely. Oh, see now, yeah, see, yeah, yeah, high limit slots. Okay, okay. Yeah, I've been there too and done that before, talent, and that's another thing. People are talking about me going out gambling and all this shit, but I take care of I take care of my family. Okay, I take care of the woman that I love and care about. So when I go out and gamble, I have winnings. I do send it to them, or I spread my wealth around too. People be there and have you ever ran into a person in the casino that was broke and wanted to borrow $2? I pull out my phone and start playing Johnny Taylor last $2. Just trying to make light of a subject. That's all. That's all. But hey, I'm gonna see if I can drop this link. Please don't porn bomb me. If you that goddamn mad with me, stay the fuck off my platform, please, because I don't have a banner up, but I can see you up there as you come up. Okay, so I'm gonna try to drop my link. I'm gonna try to do an invite, copy it and paste it and all that good shit. Put it up on the platform. And if you guys want to come up here and ridicule people and all that stuff, make them feel insecure. That's on you, okay? Because like I said, my thoughts about stuff, I got my own ideas. Yeah, you can find broke people in the high slot area talent. You can find them in the penny slots. So casino was built to try to get people broke. Now, mind you, there are some people that are lucky because I've been with a person and they were in the penny slots and hell, they hit like $1,400 playing the pennies. So it's just the luck of God. It's the will of God when you go gamble. And with anything in life, it's the will of God. When you get out there and you take a chance on something. You can take a chance on love. And if God's willing for you to find that love and to keep that love, then he'll make a way for it. I don't want to get off into that godly thing, but we know that everything is godly. Like it's God. God made it. God's going to control it. Even though the devil might have a few things to say about it too, and we let them get in the way. That's why I say we're insecure about being secure about the way we are, the way we live. Am I happy being where I'm at, living where I'm at? To a certain degree, because I always wanted better. I always wanted more. But right now, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with my time in life, and I'm happy with the way that I feel about my relationship and the people that I deal with every day throughout everyday living. But like I said, I've been watching YouTube for these past few days and listening to conversations, the arguments, and the things that go on. And it was interesting. I did listen to James and Kwani and everybody up there on that platform. It started out very interesting. I was very taken back by the history of YouTube. But then when it came to the dark side of the YouTube streets. Then I realized, you know, it's a lot of people out there that are telling things that they shared with people over the phone and through emails and all this kind of stuff. If we don't if we don't get on there and gossip about another person, and Quantic made a very interesting statement. If I like say, okay, I like James and I like Quantic, and they get to arguing, am I supposed to jump in between them and try to separate them and be, you know, hey, you guys, you don't need to do this. You know, I would say no. No, you listen to both sides and you don't let them know what you decided, who's right or who's wrong, because and they're all in a room, when it comes out, your ass is going to be the one caught up in the middle. That's the same thing like getting in between married couples. You go off and tell a man what his woman does, been doing, or say something to his woman, and then she'll get mad and say something that you've been doing or saying to another woman, and they'll go back and tell that shit on each other. And you know that does that cause separation? No, that might cause them to be together. You never get into two people's marriage or relationship when they're arguing or saying anything about things, because as sure as you say something, they get back together. And what's that old cliche say? You the one gonna look like a damn fool. And that's what I'm saying. People, we gotta learn, stay off these damn phones at times. You know, don't get mad with me because I don't agree with you about what you're saying about somebody else. I'll just tell you, oh well, I'm being neutral. You try to be Switzerland, but then again, they still want to run in there and vacation on you. And that's what I'm saying about the YouTube streets. They always want a vacation on us. But I dropped the link. Talent or anybody, if you have anything to talk about or want to, you know, bring up that's going on, the news, like I said, the news or anything. And I don't want to hear that excuse that, well, I couldn't get through or my side wasn't there or all that stuff, because you can see how many people in the chat, how many people are watching and all that bull crap. So, like I said, that's why it doesn't bother me when I do my music. I can start off with maybe two or three people and it'll end up showing that I had 22 people watching. They didn't drop down in the chat and say hi, but at least they gave me a click and a view. And that's what it's all about, you know, for me. As long as I get out there and try to reach one and teach one, then I'm okay with it. So I've, like I said, being insecure, am I insecure? I can admit that I'm insecure about some things, but I'm not going to be insecure about you sitting up talking about me all the fucking time when I don't say anything about you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be insecure when you jump out there and say things to let people know that things are going on, you know. So, and that goes with everything. You know, I've been told before, oh, do you have an IG and all that? Hit me up on IG. No, I'm not hitting you up on IG because I feel like IG has gotten to be one of the most things that people use to talk about people and say things to people and, you know, put in derogatory statements about people who are on these streets. That is pathetic. It is really pathetic, you know. Then you got your personal phone calls, you know. You got my phone number. You call me. You want to talk? Oh no, 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 no. Nope. That'll number one, that makes me insecure, because if you got my phone number, if I didn't give it to you, if I gave it to you, that's one thing. But when I don't give it to you, that's another, you know. So that's why I say we got to be mindful and careful of what we do and how we do it when we meet people on these apparatuses. Okay. Have I made mistakes? Like I said, hell yeah, I made mistakes, but I'm not going to sit up here and dwell in it or dwell on it or try to get back at people that showed me that I made a mistake about it. No, let that bullshit go. One thing life has taught me, history will always repeat itself when it comes to worldly things. But when it comes to single individuals, if you keep on repeating the same old rhetoric and bullshit that you've been doing all your life, you're not going to change. You're not going to change. And you're going to be insecure about that too, because you know, and I know, a leopard can't change its spots. That's what they say. But if you want to be known as a leopard, that's on you, because a leper wasn't a very good thing back in the day. Let's face it, if you had leprosy, that was a bad omen. That was a bad sign. So insecurities do make men and women do crazy ass shit out there, and it makes them say crazy ass shit and things to other people because they're insecure with their lives and their happiness. I'm going to be talking about trolling. There's a very interesting article on trolling to where people troll just to make people unhappy. I'm not going to try to let you make me unhappy by trolling me and saying asinine things. But what I am going to do is ask you, how do you feel about yourself trolling? Do you get joy out of it? Do you get, I don't know, a pleasure, a guilty pleasure of saying things on people's platforms and saying things to them that when you type in the chat, you know it's not true, but you want to start havoc. It's like the little gremlin. Let's quit calling them trolls and start calling them gremlins, because I remember that cartoon with Bugs Bunny back in the early days where this little gremlin was on the airplane with Bugs Bunny trying to tear it up, trying to create havoc and everything. So instead of trolling, calling them trolls, I'm going to start calling them gremlins. They're little gremlins. And it seems like the more that you talk about them, the more they pop up. That's another thing. Throw some water on them, and they're all over the place. They're all over the place. I'm not going to try, like I said, try and be so critical of things, but there are things that do bother me as an older gentleman, as an older man. And for me to hold it in, that's only making it worse. My hair is gray enough as it is. Just having fun with myself right now. But there does come a time when you have to say something, when you have to speak out. And that goes in life, personal lives, uh, YouTube life, and even governmental life. And let me tell you something that I noticed over the Thanksgiving Day holidays too. I don't know how many of you guys seen the Thanksgiving Day parade, but it's diversified. It's really diversified now. When I mean diversified, I never thought, and you count me if I'm wrong. I don't remember ever watching the Harlem Globetrotters growing up that there was a white guy in the Harlem Globetrotters. let alone let alone playing with the Harlem Globetrotters and everything else. They were the referees back then, but as far as the Harlem Globetrotters as basketball players, I never thought that I would actually see, and let me admit it, yeah, I have my prejudices about this kind of stuff too. I never thought I would see a white Harlem Globetrotter, because we were always associated with being black, and black people lived in Harlem, and Harlem was the shits back then with black folks. And basketball was another thing. Now, could the old boy handle himself out there when he was doing that? Oh, yes, he could. I wish that I could handle a basketball like he did, even today, or even when I was younger like that. But they showed him out there. They were having fun, and that's the main thing. Did I did it look funny to me? Yes, because I'm not used to seeing. I wasn't used to seeing a white Harlem Globetrotter basketball player growing up. That's that. And another thing, to add a woman to the group too, if you notice, they had a woman, you know. Then they also had a little person, little people, a little guy there. So the diversity is trying to show you the world is diversified, it's changing. Are we willing to accept those kind of things? That's that's what I'm looking at. Are we willing to accept those kind of things? Even with the Rockettes, growing up during Thanksgiving, there were Rockettes there, but they were white. Let's admit it, a white chorus line. Okay, the high kickers, the girls with the high kick. Now they've got what, I tried to count them, but I think they got maybe six in there. There was six in there, black women. Some were of lighter color, but they had two sisters in there that stood out, as we say, like flies in buttermilk. And that's no pun intended, but that's the way people used to talk about shit. They stood out, and they were in the Rockettes. Diversity, folks. And they had not only whites, they had a Chinese, and they had a Latino girl in there too. Diversity. The world is trying to change, but are we willing to accept it? Are we willing to see black and whites doing things together? Are we willing to see uh, Latinos and stuff doing things together, even with us as black people? Are we willing to do it together and show the world, hey, look, we can get along. We may not agree on everything, but we can get along. Or was it, in my mind, thinking, now I'm thinking this other thought too, was it the big corporations that know we as black consumers spend more money on products here in the United States than anywhere else in the world? Even black consumers over the world send for our products, our clothing lines, they buy them overseas, even though they're at a higher price too. That's another thing we have to look at. They buy our clothes, the clothes that black people wear, the styles that we wear. Is it that, excuse me, the big corporations are beginning to see, hey, look, in order for us to keep making a profit, we got to diversify. We got to bring certain people in to show them that we're not as bad as they think we are. Because, there's such a thing as boycott. When you can boycott people, you can boycott things. And man, that takes a toll on a company. You know, Mm. Like I said, I'm just sitting up here rambling off, getting things off my mind today that has to do that I watched over the weekend, listened to over the weekend, that brings me to wonder: are we holding our own selves back by not accepting things the way they are? Are we stopping our progress by not being able to come out here and say what we like and don't like, and without being ridiculed? Uh, being ridiculed, is that insecure for me? Only if it's a big ass lie. Now, if you're telling the truth on me, hell, you can find out the truth. Well, hey, I ain't got nothing to say about it. But when you lie, that makes me feel insecure, because if you lie, you'll steal. If you steal, you'll kill. And we have seen people here on YouTube go out and get into fights and do things to people just for their opinion on YouTube, or just because they said something on YouTube. And that's another thing we have to kind of back up off of. Those videos where we go in and look at people acting a fool, especially black people acting a fool. And there are whites out there to do it. And I'm sorry to say it that way. There's both races, all races do it. But we seem to be broadcasting more about our insecurities than we are being secured about life itself in general. So I'm not going to say that I was right or wrong for doing what I did on you, or what I've done on YouTube or about to do on YouTube. One thing I am going to say is I'm not going to be held up as an old man that doesn't know shit or is being made a fool out of. If you think I'm being made a fool out of, hey, help me. Tell me about it. Write it in. You got comment sections. You can write it. I got a comment section. Write in my comment section. Tell me what I need to be doing or saying on here. If I agree with you, I'll agree with you. If you want to talk about something, let's talk about it. But I'm not going to sit up here and beg for anything on this platform. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm always right about everything on this platform because I'm not right about everything. But one thing I do know, I have my thoughts and I'm going to speak them. And once again, when I say you come at me and I don't be bothered with your ass, you're insecure. You're very insecure, you know. And even if I say something to you and if it offends you in a way, and you can't tell me yourself face to face, hey, you made me feel this way, you're insecure. Because I'll start going on platforms when I feel like it and let you know, hey, leave me out of your conversation. Don't bring me up. I don't talk about you in that way. Number one, we don't communicate on phones. I don't have your number. You don't have my number. The only thing you do have about me is what you found out on me doxing me. That's another thing. We'll get into the doxing aspects of YouTube next week. I'm going to do some real serious uh, insight and an input on doxing, be it on a local, be it on a state, or be it on a federal level. Let me tell you, people, you're walking a thin line between being jailed or kicked off the social media altogether with the doxing shit. You might as well get ready for it. There's going to be changes in Congress that they're looking at now about the word doxing and all this stuff. Well, it's public information. Some information that you find out that is public doesn't need to be brought on YouTube in order to shame a person down. And that's what you're doing. You're shaming terroristic threats on the internet or saying things to people on the internet. You got to be mindful and careful how we do that, including me. But then we get into our fifis, then we want to get up there and start talking crazy, or talking to them like there's some kind of animal or something. There's going to be a lot that I'm going to try to get into, and probably at the end of the year, I'm really going to be working on it and letting you know there are different laws in different states and different counties, and even up to the federal government. That there's a lot of things going to change about the internet, the way we look at it, because they're coming out with these so-called AIs. They got voice recognition. They're even doing uh, your facial recognition and putting it on. You can put it on a computer screen, generate a artificial intelligence using your voice, saying things, or de-changing your voice and saying things. There's a lot of things that the government's going to be looking at within the next, I say, 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years, they're going to be looking at it. Because why do you think the actors and the writers went on strike? Because they knew about artificial intelligence and what it could do with the movie industry and how it could put them out of a job. See what I'm saying? We see it now. Walmart, Target, Kroger, all these big places replacing humans with machines. Checkout. But you got some people, when they go to the checkout, they don't check out everything that they get in that basket. So now the corporations are losing money through theft, even though they got self checkout. And let's face it, people, we're not the best honest things in the world when it comes to shopping or going to the store. I believe I'm not going to say everybody, but let's just say a majority of the people have went into the store, be it they were children, middle age, semi-middle age, old age folks that went into the store. And as they say, what's the dangerous word? Shop, lift something. Even if they forgot to pay for it, they it was in the basket. They didn't take it out. They load the back, get outside. Oh, I forgot that they didn't add this up. Oh, well, you're shoplifting. Come on, we've all done it. We've all had it done. So that's what I'm talking about. Little things like that. Yeah, I could jump off from one subject thing to another, and that's another thing I got to realize too. Someone told me that when you get somewhere, you constantly change. You'll change the subject. You start on it, and then you move off into another direction. Well, that's what conversation is about. You see what I'm saying? And that's what gets tiring on YouTube too. The same old subject day after day after day. It'll run hot for 2 or 3 days. But there comes maybe that second day. Okay, yeah, I hear you. The third day, I'm tired of that. Let's change subjects. Let's talk about something different. But there's always somebody that'll manage to bring back up something that happened a week ago. And another thing people say to me that's very interesting that I hear a lot of, well, I didn't watch the whole thing. Well, if you didn't watch the whole thing, how can you comment on it? That's my, you know, if I didn't see the whole thing, I'll say I didn't see the whole thing. But what the part that I seen is the part that I'm going to speak upon. Now, did I watch certain contests all the way through? Yes and no. Did I see some things that I liked? Yes and no. But one thing is for certain, and two things for sure. I'm not going to sit up here and say it should have been done this way, it should have been done that way, because it wasn't mine to do. Even with these cooking challenges and uh, the contest with the let me bring that up too, because I've been told on different platforms, that I owe people an apology. I was supposed to be up there and I didn't show up. Let me put it this way, people. Sometimes we make promises that we can't keep. Okay, things go on in life that might happen. Say, for instance, you could be in the middle of doing a show or a live, and there's an emergency pop up. Are you going to stay there and try to talk to these people because you got 300 or 400 people in the chat, or are you going to drop down and go see about that emergency? And number one, especially when it involves your family. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times we can't do things as we say that we're going to do. But I am going to say that if I hurt my two content creators and Nubiology 101 and KRN, you know, if I hurt you by not being there at your platform that day, I know it went off great. So no, I didn't hurt you, because like she said, they had a contingency plan. So, and I'm glad that people think like that, or she said that, you know. And for King Roman, I apologize to you too, sir, because yeah, we had talked about it, but we never did get back with each other. And then, like I said, something came up in with me on that Saturday that I was gone. I had an emergency. So what it was, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to comply to it. But I did listen to the show afterwards. I followed the show. I looked at the fashions and all that. Some of it, you know. But as me as a man, I don't want to comment on fashions, because I'm not a fashion guy. Clothes doesn't make a man. That's an old cliche. Clothes does not make a man. Nor does clothes make a woman. Now, it makes you look nice. It makes you look, debonair and all that, as people want to say. But when it comes to character and all that good stuff, that doesn't make you. You make your own character. You do your own thing. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy a $900 Brooks Brothers suit just because. You know, yeah, I might look good in a Brooks Brothers suit, but if I'm one of the lousiest people out there in the world, cussing people out and talking about everybody and everything, being unhappy in it, that doesn't make me a man. What makes you a man is being confident and secure about what you do in life and what you say to people in life. and how you treat them and how you want them to treat you. That's a security. To me, that's security in life. Yeah, we'll argue, we'll fuss, we'll fight, but can we make up? See, that's another thing. If you can't make up with a person or you can't forgive a person, don't be around that person. I can make up with everybody. That's why I'm always in everybody's talking about me being in different chats and all that. Because I'm not mad with you. I'm not angry with you as a human being because that only takes things out of me. That only takes my lifespan, makes it shorter. My blood pressure run high. I get headaches and anxieties about shit that somebody says. Now, I argue with you on that point about what you said, but am I going to go out and do anything to myself because you said it? Hell no. And if it gets to be too malicious or too outlandish, then there's other recourses that I can take as a human being to satisfy me, to satisfy me. And that means if it has to do with, and I heard a lot of people on YouTube say it, take it to court, take it to the justice system. Well, if that's so be it, so be it. Because I'm still old enough to fight. I still have my pride. And pride goes before the fall. I'm not gonna let you, I'm not gonna let you make me fall on my face because your pride wants to prove to everybody that you're right about everything. But when it comes to me and you put things out there and you know it's not right, that's not your pride. That's your insecurities. That brings me right back around into it. You're insecure about me being me. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you, Talent, for being up there. I'm sorry I'm sorry you didn't win too much. Mr. Gerald Bell, thank you for coming up. Cheryl Burnett, my moderator, I know you had to leave and go somewhere else. Thank you, dear. Jason Clout 2300, always a pleasure to see you up here and do everything. Nobody wanted to hit the link. Nobody wants to say what they think. So I'm out of here. Baby, love you. And throw that flag up once again. Bye, y'all.